Alright, we are back for round one. On the draw, this hand is not the most exciting, but it's fine. If I draw planes, it become awesome. And otherwise, I can still cast my brown scale on turn 3 with, a trick backup, so that seems not too bad. Drawing a forest there was awful. Probably, like, literally the worst top deck possible. Blue-green, that's a bit weird. Not a very common color combination. We might be, well, we are most likely playing some sort of Dimir Golgari deck. Face Feathers was a good draw. If I can get planes at some point. Wayfinder is a good card. I would assume that they are fetching a swamp here. But maybe not. Yup, a swamp, alright. Dimir Golgari. As I drew my planes, a turn too late. I think I'm gonna play the Evangel first so I can activate it and use it next turn. And I have Gather Courage backup, so I will probably not, try to block and use Gather Courage, but this might save the Evangel from something. I don't think so, because if they have Ribbons of Night, my thing is dying anyway. That's the worst case scenario. It seems like they have something. Brain Spoil. That's annoying, but less worst, I would say. So I guess I'll play Bronze Scale and Golgari Rot Farm next turn. Alright, Scatter the Seed was not a bad draw. And I can still Gather Courage because of the Convoke. Sure. Alright. Well, that was good for the opponent, because, if you let that creature leave, you will lose most of the time, so there is that too. Alright, what is up next? A Dismisser. Alright, that's quite annoying and pretty good for my opponent. That being said, when I will recast my Brown Scale, my opponent will not be able to attack anymore. So I don't feel too threatened. But Dismisser is a good card, so there is that. Alright, the return of the Brown Scale. I do have 2 lands in hand. Hopefully I do not draw too many more lands, and hopefully my opponent doesn't have some sort of card advantage. Otherwise I might be in trouble. I guess we'll see. A Sprite, alright. That is mildly annoying. I mean, it's not gonna kill me very fast. Alright, Elves, I don't really care about that at all. And now I guess my opponent cannot really attack anymore. And I have 16 turns in front of me before I die. So I think it's fine. Ribbons of Night was a fine draw. The issue is that I don't really want to Face Feather or Ribbons of Night that thing. I don't really want to get rid of their creature either. I guess I'll play Scatter the Seeds, and I'll find something to do afterwards. Alright. The thing is, currently my opponent cannot really kill me, but I cannot really kill them either. We are pretty much on a stall war, except that this thing is, slightly annoying. They might have a counterspell for the Scattered Seeds, but apparently they are tapping out, so I guess we will not see that. Alright, a dog. Yep, let's scatter the seeds. I kinda wanna Face Feather that thing, this way it will never come back. Ooh, Gilmage. Okay, that's sweet. That's really sweet. That was, the kind of card I was hoping to draw. Because now, it's my opponent that's gonna be in trouble. That's incredibly sweet. So I can beat down with the Brown Scale. Ooh, good, 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 good. Very good. Very, very good. Alright, sweet. Double block. Alright, I will gather courage then. I can use my forest because I don't need more mana. I don't mind trading this trick for 2 of their creatures. Sweet. Sweet, that was an awesome top deck. I mean, if my opponent doesn't have a removal, they are pretty much like straight up dead. That's awesome. And if I draw 1 more land, I can start making 2 tokens each turn. Yeah, and I got rid of, 2 of my opponent's creature, and the Moss Dog is, the least of, not really concerning right now. And I do have 2 removals in case my opponent tries to play something bigger. So yeah, things are looking great. And even if my opponent does have a removal for the Guildmage, I can make another token, and afterwards Face Feather the Moss Dog, and beat down with my tokens and my brown scale. I would not be surprised if my opponent does have a removal. Ooh, that's very bad. Like, very, very bad. Yup, that's not really what I wanted to see at all. Losing my two removals is pretty annoying. Also, I don't have any more removals, so good lord. But I don't think like using Face Feather on the dog yet was a good idea. Yeah, that's bad for me. Maybe I should have tried to play around that. I still think I'm in a decent spot because, as I mentioned, that thing is very hard to defeat. But an attack with the elves. Weird. I will not risk the Guildmage. Like, I will just block with the Saproling. I could try to block here, but like this, if this leaves, I'm never losing the game. So there's no reason to risk it, I think. Alright. Let's put a Saproling onto the battlefield. Alright, I drew another land. Good. I don't think I will be down with that. Like, again, as I mentioned, I truly think that if this creature leaves, I'm never ever gonna lose, so I will just play carefully and make sure I don't die to a pump spell or any sort of trick. So currently I'm dealing 5 damages. Alright, a chump on the brown scale. So I could either deal 3 more damages or put a Saproling on the battlefield. I think making a Saproling is a bit more interesting. Alright. My opponent is left with 2 cards in hand. Things are looking good. That card is, that's why I first picked it. It's pretty much like if you don't have a removal, you straight up lose to that thing. It's quite crazy. If my opponent attack, I will just take 3, I think. I could put a token to chump block, but I don't really care. Like, I'm pretty easily racing my opponent currently, so I don't think there's any reason to like worry about 3 damages, especially against a blue-green black deck. Like they are not gonna like burn me or anything along those lines. Imp is fine, I don't really care. That thing doesn't match up very well against Saprolings. And I guess we'll see the last card of my opponent's hand. A Singling Darkness onto a token. Well, that seems like a fairly desperate move. I don't really mind that at all. Like, if my opponent thinks that he or she can race me, it's not gonna work that way. Like, you cannot race a Guildmage with that stuff. Rotworm is not bad, but if I cast that, I cannot really make tokens anymore, so I don't really like it too much. Alright, let's beat down and see what my opponent does. Alright, so I guess we are trading. Do I want to deal 8? Or I stay with 4? Yeah, I think I will boost my creatures. Like, my opponent is pretty much dead next turn if I do that. If they, you know, if they, get back the imp, they are not dead, but like, it's gonna go worse and worse for them, so they did not dredge, which is not very surprising because I don't think imp is doing much against my Saprolings. Guildmage is like ruling the board. Look at that. That thing is so broken. Great. Alright. Game 1. Guildmage did its job. Sweet. So we are playing blue, black, green, Golgari, Dimir thing. I don't think my opponent played any bounce land. Maybe they did. Actually, I think they did. But either way, I don't think I really want Royal Spout. Strands of Undeath, I think is not a very good reason to put Leave No Trace, because if you are discarding 2 cards and using a removal on their thing, it's like a 3-for-1, it's just awful. But I should be worried about that and maybe play differently to make sure I don't get, you know, completely destroyed by that card. Keeping lands in hand should be a good start. And I don't think there's anything I want to change for the second game, is there? My opponent showed 1 flyer. No, honestly, I don't think there's anything I want to change. I'm gonna keep the deck the way it is. And yeah, Guildmage is sick. Like, that card is so unbeatable, it's quite crazy. Alright, this is a 1-lander, I cannot keep it. If this was a forest, I could keep it on the draw because of the elves, but it might even be wrong, so at least the 1-lander with a with a bounce land, make sure you don't make the wrong move of keeping it. That one is not great, but I think it's a keep. My opponent put me on the play though, interesting. Alright, I'm keeping that. Plains is a very good top deck. Alright, that's interesting. I don't say it's wrong, but it's surprising because I feel like I'm the aggressor in this matchup. I don't know, we'll see. Drawing one more card is not bad though, and I'm not really that aggressive, so I would assume that it's a pretty decent choice. It's not, it is just not really what I was expecting. Alright, we drew a 4th land, which is pretty good. Sensor is not accomplishing much yet, but it could be good at some point. I guess we'll see. What is that? An Entrancer. Alright, that card is pretty good. I'm gonna attack. If my opponent blocks, I'll be very happy to gather Courage. I cannot play the Centaur first because this would produce either colorless or white. I cannot produce green with it. But I would assume that my opponent is not gonna block anyway. Alright, Centaur. Let's play that thing. Next turn I can scatter the seed and start tapping things. That being said, Entrancer is a bit annoying. That card is really good. Like, the body is really relevant and that kills actually pretty fast. And I would assume that now on my opponent will keep 1 mana each turn to use that. Like, if you look at my library, it's something like a 12 turn clock if you count my draw step. So you could say that it's not really relevant, but I can tell you that, yeah, that card is threatening, that's for sure. Alright, another brown scale. Interesting. I think I will just beat down with my brown scale and see what happens. My opponent is probably blocking with the shepherd. Do I use my trick? Maybe I should. Because now I could scatter the seed and use one of the scatter the seed token to gather courage here. Or I could gather courage and play another brown scale afterward. You know, I kinda wanna get rid of that anyway. I think I will do the scatter the seed into gather courage play. Also, I kinda wanna play scatter the seed when my opponent is tapped out, so I make sure I don't get countered. Because it's one of the more important cards here, given the sensor, I think. And yeah, I'll do that. That seems fine. Alright, and that's a fairly good tempo swing because I get rid of my opponent's creature, and as well as putting like 3 creatures in the board. I think it's quite decent. And I guess I'll get milled end of turn. My opponent got another Scatter the Seed, which is bad, and the Swamp, which is also bad, actually. That's 2 cards that I would have been very happy to draw. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Unfortunately, I don't have enough creatures untapped to tap the Entrancer end of turn, but yeah, not much I can do about that. Ooh, Guildmage is also very threatening. Ugh, I don't like my chances here. Those are very powerful creatures. I think I'm gonna lose here. Alright, I actually don't mind that too much because I wasn't able to cast that thing, but I'm certainly not in a good spot. Siege Worm is gonna help though. So can I Bronze Scale and Siege Worm? Bronze Scale is gonna mean 6. Yeah, I can. Awesome. Awesome. So I will have nothing left in hand, and this is gonna be less annoying regarding the discard ability. That was a very sweet draw. Alright. Alright. My opponent will be able to draw cards each turn, and I would assume that they have some sort of removal in hand. So everything is not great, but it's not bad either. I have a much better board than my opponent. And if they don't have answer, they will die fairly quickly actually. But I will not be surprised to, you know, see something annoying. Like a Dismisser on the Worm, apparently. I would assume this is what my opponent is doing. 6 mana sounds like the Dismisser. Which is good, honestly. But I can cast my Worm, and this time keep 3 creatures to tap my opponent's creature. So I guess we'll see. But Dismisser, yeah, it's certainly annoying, and it's card advantage for my opponent, but it will not be the end of the world by any stretch. The card I'm really worried about is Dimir Guildmage. Like, I have almost no removal, and I'm not gonna win against that on the long term. Alright. Interesting. Ooh, Singling Darkness on the Worm. That's good. But given the Sensor, the fact that I still have the Worm is not great for my opponent. I might just never be able to kill them and end up being milled. That's the the more problematic thing. Ooh, Chord of Calling. That's something. So I can pass the turn back to my opponent and then use card in response to the Guildmage and fetch something. I feel like now that the Worm is out of my deck, the best thing I can fetch might just be the Guildmage actually. I think that's the fact that I can, make all my creatures bigger is like really annoying for my opponent. And if I get the Guildmage, I can tap 2 things with Samtower, and then I can attack for 3, 5, 8, 6. It's 14. That's a lot of damage, jeez. Alright, I would assume that my opponent is just gonna kill one of my tokens. The Sensor. pretty interesting. So if I card off calling, I will actually lose that. The question is, should I card now or later? Do I care about the sensor a lot or not? That's quite interesting. I think that anyway, I will tap this now for sure. My opponent can use the ability. Maybe I should. I think I should fetch the Guild Mage. Make sure they don't put it in the graveyard here. So I guess I will draw the sensor, but I don't think it's actually bad. Sweet. It's quite fun to use Card of Calling in in limited, because it's mostly known for its constructed power level. All right, I think I'll tap the Dismisser too, and just F6 from now on. All right. Sweet, so I can beat down for a bunch. So if my opponent blocks nothing, they take 6, 8, 11, 17. So no block means going to 1. Jeez. That card is brutal. And like, if they chump block, they are still in a very bad spot next turn, because I can still make the same attack. Jesus Christ, that Guild Mage is busted. Like, I knew it was strong, but it plays even stronger than I thought it would. Good lord. Yeah, 6, 8, 11, 17. Like, if my opponent goes down to 1 there, I think they are pretty much dead. And I don't really care about casting the Sensor too much. Yeah, trading for a token. Not something you really wanna do. But that Guild Mage is like destroying the other Guild Mage. Pretty fun. Alright, let's pump those. And the opponent will go down to 3. They have 2 blockers. I have, let's say they kill the Guild Mage, block these 2. They are still dead. A Ribbons of Naya would be great for them. Otherwise, if they cannot kill that, I think they are straight up dead. 4 blockers. That's not enough. That's just not enough. Unless they have a Peel from Reality, they are just dead on the board. Should I play around Peel from Reality? I don't think so. I think I should just go for the kill. Like, they could have Peel, but that's not extremely likely. And even if they do, they will still lose quite a bunch of creature to those, I think. They might have the Peel because they are making the blocks, though. Alright, let's try to kill... well, since my opponent did not concede, I think they are not dead. But they will lose this almost everything but the Entrancer. I guess I can bounce back something in their hand. Well, if they have Peel, it's actually pretty bad for me. I'm not gonna lie. But they will go down to 1, and I will keep most of my creatures. I think going for the kill is right, honestly. They might have Peel. That could very well be something, but I don't think that I can play around that very efficiently anyway. So yeah. I'll go for the kill, and since my opponent is not responding, that might mean game over. Alright, we managed to win. Jesus, that Guild Mage is busted. Alright, sweet, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like or subscribe, and I see you guys for round 2.